Happy Monday, meteorologist Diane Phillips here, and we are still continuing on with that wonderful sun. You're going to find that here on our Jet Express cam. Been enjoying the nice sunny weather here the last couple of days, and we're going to continue to see that as we head through our Monday. But there's still some sunny chances coming up later on this week, though tomorrow for Valentine's Day, yes, a little more cloud cover. Looks like we see that line bump just a little bit as we get into Wednesday, and yet as we get closer to the weekend, looks like sun working its way back in. So perfect timing, because we always want to have some sun on the weekend. It's easier. We have a little extra time to go and have some fun. Now, like I said, tomorrow's Valentine's Day. So if you're maybe, needing that forecast to make those plans, here's a look at what we're expecting. Highs are going to be around 53 degrees for tomorrow, and it will be mainly dry. If you're maybe going to have that breakfast or lunch date, no problem there. Around dinner time, rain chances do start to tick up a little bit, so it'll be after sunset. Of course, sunset, that's going to be around the 6 o'clock hour or just shortly thereafter. That means that our rain chances will then start to climb during dinner, and some sprinkles will be possible. And then later on into the evening, those rain chances truly do start to climb for us. But for today, not a lot going on here at home, and even looking what could be moving on in, it's pretty quiet further west, so it's going to be a bit before we see any precipitation moving in. There is a system that's off towards the east coast, won't be impacting us, won't even be slinging clouds back at us. So that's why we're going to be working with a sunny forecast on this Monday, and then a quiet weather pattern for a good chunk of this week as well. Though we do have that rain chance for your Valentine's Day, that's going to be late at night and wrapping up Wednesday morning. So that's why we have that umbrella at times for Tuesday into Wednesday, though many of us are actually going to be asleep as we see that rainfall move through. Now Thursday, that's going to be our soaker day here on the forecast. Just like last Thursday, we're once again looking at rainfall in the forecast. We'll have that until we get to Monday. Finally, we'll see some drier weather, and then conditions will lead us into a really nice looking weekend forecast. So we're excited to see that. Now this is the system that we're watching as we go into Thursday. We're going to have this warm front that's going to be pushing on in. So that's why you're going to find some very mild temperatures for Wednesday and Thursday. But then that rain, that's going to be here for the day. You might even hear a rumble of thunder Thursday afternoon, but we're not seeing our numbers reach the threshold for strong or severe storms at this time. So of course we're going to continue to watch it as we have this cold front that will be sweeping on through. But for now, we're not tracking severe weather for Thursday, though some non-severe thunder, you may hear that out into the distance. So you'll be using radar by then, but also if you are going to be doing that dinner plans for Valentine's Day tomorrow night, have radar open and going. You don't want your Valentine to get soaked running to the car. Of course, hourly forecast, that's going to be a helpful tool to use then. Even tonight, we'll have those clear skies. So maybe you can do some early Valentine's Day stargazing. Temperatures, though, they'll be into the 30s, so you'll have to bundle up. Now looking at our almanac, kind of setting the stage of where we should be. Highs should typically be around 37 degrees. We're talking 50s and even a 60-degree day this week. So we are well above average at this point in the season. Lows also, with those a lot of times only bottoming out in the 30s, we're seeing our lows to be almost 10 degrees warmer than where we, typically should have them here for the middle portion of February. Now records, we're nowhere close though, even though we do have all this heat. 66 degrees is the record set for February 13th back in 1938, and even that low, 1905, the low was recorded at -12. So we're kind of in the middle as far as our temperatures, even though they're not very February-like. Now I know though you're already noticing that we've had quite a bit of sun here in February, and that we're also having it at some portions of the day that we haven't seen in a while. Sunrise this morning was at 7:33, so already if you're really up early, you're noticing that early glow just kind of coming over the horizon. And then that sunset though is after 6 o'clock, so that means tomorrow that rainfall, those sprinkles, they can move in while you're at dinner. So that's why you're going to want to check radar for your Valentine's plans, because rain chances around sunset, just something to keep in mind. But look at these mild temperatures. Like I said, we got 50s for this week, 64 on Wednesday, and even Thursday, not bad at 58. That though will come with some rainfall. Friday, that's kind of our back to reality. The cold front takes those highs into the mid-30s, but it looks like winter, it's still going to be struggling here as we go through the weekend and into early next week. Spring has something else in mind, and maybe it's an early arrival. You're going to see that we warm those temperatures up to be well above average, but Wednesday, wait a minute, 36 is that high. So as our temperatures are up and down, we'll be seeing if we can get some cooler temperatures back in or if this mild feeling is going to hold. But I know a lot of us already are thinking, hey, spring is here. Let's clean up the yard, clean up the house. But we actually have 35 days until spring. By then, average high is typically around 50 degrees, but that just kind of seems to be where we're at for this week. And even last week was very similar. So just something to keep in mind. It's a little more spring-like outside. But it is still February and winter is still possible, but you really won't find it here on this 10-day stretch with temperatures above average in 50s, 60s. We do have rainfall then to go with it. So maybe spring showers, but I'm not even seeing that snow icon as we head into next week. Happy though to report a dry weekend forecast. Temperatures next week do bump up into those 50s, but we have rain to go with them. So it's just still mild enough that we're not tracking snow in this forecast. But as far as those, well, glances of spring and, well, some dips into winter, we'll make sure that you stay one step ahead here on WTOL 11 Plus and also on the WTOL 11 weather app.